this is Natalie from Arrow from the Netherlands, and I'm here to work a little bit on the journal that I started. I have one video where I created this part, the cover. This is the inside of the cover and this is the outside. It's just a box of the card that is under my desk. It was like this big, and of course there was a side spot over here too. I cut off this piece and the other sort of spine element I glued inside, and I folded over scraps of book pages to cover up the open pieces of the cardstock, or the, I don't know how you call it. Is this cardstock? Well, it is. And a cardboard maybe. And in my previous video, I explained what I do and why I do it. I'm not saying I am a cover guru, so maybe something is not quite correct, but for me it works. I have vintage, it's very old actually. I think it's from the 1800s, a ledger paper. It is in Dutch and I'm supposed to have January on it, but I think I glued on the wrong side. Anyway, I'm going to glue this in maybe like so, maybe the other way around. No, I'm going to glue it in like so. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to glue it on as high as possible. But before I do that, I have some stitching to do. I needed to let this dry. You also see this, and I don't like this. So I am going to cut a little bit of the book paper away. Hopefully. I'm not. Yay. Maybe I can cut it because I don't like that it's sticking out. Although I'm just going to leave it. Don't be so super precise. What I am going to do, I'm not sure if that is a good or bad thing. We will see. But I have, this is more silvery, I think. No. This is just a twin metallic marker. And I'm just going in here. And you really press against that side of the spine thing. I'm not sure how you call this. The gap that is in between the cover and the spine. And then this one you really need to press this way. And I'm also doing this piece. Oh, but I am going to cover up this, so hopefully you won't see the okay, this must be it. So it's sort of not showing the cardboard, but I need to sew. I need to do a lot of sewing. And the reason why I start from the inside out is when you have to do some sewing on here or covering up this piece, you can fold it over to the front and the back side, and you can still cover it when you're done. If you already have this over and you have these folded over, you have to cut it, and then you see the dirty lines of the, well, I don't like, it's not dirty, but it's ugly, of the box. And I showed everything in a previous video, so maybe you have to watch that video to, well, to understand what I'm saying. I also need to do a lot of inking, but I want you to know that I'm going to sew around this piece, I'm going to glue it on. And, well, thinking about that, maybe, because if I glue, or not glue, if I sew around the cover, I'm also going to sew over here. So if I only sew the top and the bottom part of this piece and the same over here, then glue it on and then go round, that would work better, I think. Now, seeing this, I'm also starting to think, what if I made a tuck spot in here? Or am I going to put a pocket here? I think I will go for the pockets on here. That's why I'm gluing these not centered, but as high as possible. So if I create a pocket, this is not covered completely. But if I make a pocket, it has to be over here completely. Not like so, because I don't like this. Okay, inking, sewing. But first, clean this so I can actually craft. Going to sew only here, only here, only here. Then I'm going to glue it on, and then I'm going to sew around the cover. Okay, I have an update. I forgot I didn't I didn't want to sew the sides, but I did. So I'm going to do the same on this one. I made a mistake. So I sewn around the ledger papers. It's very brittle, so I torn a little piece over here, but that's okay. But I was also thinking maybe I should adjust my plan to sew over here. What I am going to do is first sew around the cover and then glue this on. So it is attached, but it's not showing double stitches. That makes sense. And I'm going to do a straight stitch along the borders. So mistake has been solved. So I sewn around the cover too. You will probably not see the stitching on this side, but definitely on the inside. And now I'm going to glue these on. I think I'm going to switch so this particular ripped pieces are on the inside instead of on the outside. So I just thought of something. I think I also want to glue lace underneath. So I just look. I sorted all my laces, and look how many I have. It's insane. And what is even worse, what I did when I had like this, and I have many times this, then I cut 2 pieces and put it in another box to give away or to maybe sell. I'm not sure yet. I still have to figure that out. But maybe if I do small sales in an envelope, that would work. But I thought, well, maybe just put a like thin piece of lace underneath. Although this is pretty lace. I also have like measurement. I have a lot. I'm ashamed that I don't use a lot of laces. So that's also the goal of 2026, to not buy any more laces. And use what I have. Also the ones that are gifted to me. Because I tend to hoard pretty laces, as you can see. I really like this one. Maybe I'm going to use this for the spine. This was gifted to me by Two Sister Jam. I think Stacy made these. Pretty. So pretty. But I have a link below my videos showing you the Etsy link of their shop. And they have the best items for you to work with. And it's a good thing I don't live in the US. Because I think I would go broke. I would sell. Not sell, I would buy a lot of items. I really like this, but does this go well with the, yeah, I can do that. So I am going to, yeah, I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it. This is a real vintage lace, by the way. So it's not a new lace. Do you also want to add lace over here? Probably yes. I think I will use this one. So I'm gluing this piece on here. I'm not going to glue on the bottom part because I want to create a pocket over there. So that's not a smart thing to do. Okay. I also go in with the glue stick. Oh, sorry for the noise. Something fell on my desk. Okay, I want to have this a little bit more over here. And something like this. Okay. Sticking to my hands. Oh no, not completely underneath. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Let me quickly do that. I'm going to do that one off camera. So this is how it looks now. And you have this dripping over here and this on this side. No, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave it. Now I need to make the front and the back cover now. And I think I will use some of those panels that I used to back the ledger. So I'm just going to get those and then I'm going to layer all the fabrics and going to sew. So I have a little bit of a different panel. This is just wrapping from a men's t-shirt. And this could be the perfect size. It's basically the outside of the brown thing. The brown thing is inside the t-shirt. But what I'm going to do is just do this. And then sort of give it a little pinch where I need to cut it. Something like that. You're not going to see that, but it's just for me. I like things to be the same. Maybe it's my OCD. I don't know. I don't know if I have OCD, by the way. I'm just saying. I have this. And this is very annoying because this is not laying flat. So I thought I would glue this down on the on the board. Okay, I still have this Eileen glue, which I used a lot when I started making journals, but on thin paper it's not really a good glue. But for things like this, it is. Because I need to finish this glue, I need to use it because I have so much still left of that. I found that in my stash. I also have a very huge bottle of collal glue, and that allegedly is supposed to be the same as Fabri-Tac, which is not. But yeah, I tend to use that too because I have it so long in my stash, but it's still okay. The only downside now is that this panel is extremely wet. So I can't do the sewing in this video. I have to let it dry. Otherwise I will definitely ruin my sewing machine. Don't think I will be able, although maybe I'm going to sew around the border of this piece. So maybe I'm going to be okay. I don't know yet. We will see. I have this piece that I wanted to glue on over here. Like so. Probably not gluing it on straight, doesn't matter. It's just a base. I need to cover, otherwise it's very difficult for me to sort of lay this, because this is going to be the front cover or the back cover. This is really annoying, this piece. Okay, it has to be on the back cover. Okay, this can go over here. Trying to use a little less glue. Where's the spatula? I keep losing things. It's the smallest desk in the world. And I lose everything. Okay. And the fabrics, I did a swap with Jurema Shelby, the paper Yuri. And she sent me these. I sent her a Edith Holden book. Oh, I found I found my Edith Holden books too. I have, I think, about 20. So much. It's insane. But yeah. Okay. I want to... I had this. Like so. This would be part of the spine, which I now find very difficult to incorporate. But I'm going to give it a try. How am I going to do that? No clue. Maybe just add dots of glue on here. Oh. Don't drop it. And then I am going to do this. Something like this. and glue this over. That could work. That does work. And I'm going to do the same on the other side with that piece. Where is that piece? Over here. And it's so much longer. I'm going to leave it. I am going to cut this piece because I don't like this being perfectly straight. And this is a pillowcase. Well, what's left of it. I think it was my mom's pillowcase. Okay. Gluing over here. So I'm basically doing the same. Doing this. I hope you can follow along and you can see. Oh yeah, you can see very well. Well, follow along if you can. I hope you can see what I'm actually doing. I'm not sure if you're able to follow along with this video. I'm going to cut this piece off. It's extremely long. Now, I should be able to glue this on like so. This one over like so, and then these sort of overlapping, which is okay. I said I was going to use this piece. I'm not sure about that yet. I have to decide. Okay, and the next, this is a leftover piece. The next piece was, oh, so many pieces. No, yeah, this is it. And this, I wanted to turn these into sort of pockets. Well, only on the front. On the back side, I'm not going to create a pocket, but I'm going to mimic a pocket. I had this, and I had it laid down something like this. Because I made a picture and posted it in the Facebook group. And I said, could this be the start of something new? Well, it is. I think I maybe even want to also add the lace that I just used. Also, or change of plan. Have this over here. Yeah, this is the right side. So this maybe over here. Oh, and this over here. Yeah. Apparently there's a right and there's a wrong side. And what if I put, I had 3 of these, I think. Yes. I have this. I have this. I have this. I have this. And this and this and this label. I have a lot. I think I put this one over this one or over this one. I'm not sure anymore. Let's check what looks best. Maybe I did something like this. I don't know. I think I like this. Or I can also, not sure if I'm in frame, put this piece over here, because I'm not going to turn this into a pocket. This is just going to be sort of the same as the front side, but not going to be a pocket. And I also want to incorporate this label. This is a stamp, and Stacy Merritt sent this to me. Look. And it's a very nice fabric she used. Do I want to put it over here, or maybe in the corner? In the corner. It needs to be in the corner. And then I have these, and I thought, let's just put these on like so, or this one over here, and the more sturdy one over here. And I also had this, and I wanted to put this over here. And now I have these left over, and I thought, what if I just put this over here underneath? Let's do that right away, because this doesn't need to be sewn on. I can just glue this down. It's not a biggie. Again, I do a lot of stuff. Okay, we have this. It's on my sleeve. This is layered. That's good. This can go over here. I think I also had pieces of this underneath the label stamp over here. Oh, I also need to glue the lace on here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Although I can do that. Let me put this on here. Something like this. And I'm going to use this. Just to sort of keep it in place. Otherwise it's very difficult to sew. I really miss this. I used to make a lot of layered journal covers, and I sort of switched over to only paper covers, but I do miss this. I do like playing with the laces and layering, and yeah, I'm very happy I decided to use up all my laces. And I also decided not to buy anything anymore. Laces, I mean. Although there's a lot of stuff I don't need to buy anymore for a very, very long time. This piece over here. Yes, you can see. I will cut it off later. I'm not worried about that now. So this is going to be over here. Still have these pieces left. This is going something like this. Okay, maybe I need to pull this out a little more. Same over here. Oh, this one is already sticking out enough. So then I have this over here. I want to have some vellum behind this, otherwise it's not going to work as a pocket. Okay, I have a piece of vellum, and I'm going to sew over this. And then I can, oh, maybe this is better than underneath. I don't know. What do you think? I can't ask because you can't answer me, of course. Maybe I can do it a little like so. I don't know yet. But first, let me sew around this piece. And then I'm going to build a little bit more. And I just need to have a, yeah, I think you can slide something underneath. So I'm going to sew around this and then I'm going to build from there. So I sew over the pocket. And now I have to decide how I'm going to place the pocket. But I first want to cut this piece in 2 halves. Or in half. Because I want this to be on here. Maybe underneath. Maybe underneath too. I don't know. No, not underneath. Underneath here. Switch over to a different glue because I don't need too much. Just have it like so. Need to do the same over here. Like so. Yeah. Okay, I need to decide if I want. Okay, first let me. This is giving me a hard time sticking out too much. So, I first need to decide whether I want this on like so, which I think is very pretty. And I had this piece. Where's the other piece? I lose everything. But maybe it's too busy. Maybe I just want to have this and maybe only that lace over here. Maybe that's what I want. I also don't know where the other piece is. So, and I also have these two to put on, and I have leaves. But I also found I had leaves in this too. Yeah, tinier leaves. Not certain yet. Okay, let me focus. Let me focus on this. Because this, I just said I want this like so. So this is going to be on like so. So I need to put this on here. But I can't seem to find the other piece. Now I'm ripping this off. Okay, first I need to sew over here. No, I don't need to do that first because I also have the doilies on here. Found the doilies. Because they need to be sewn on first on the pocket. So let me do that quickly. I'm going to sew the doilies on. Check. I'm going to leave this for now, and then I'm going to sew around. Well, I can sew around it on here. That's okay. Yeah, I'm going to sew around this whole piece because I think I have everything over here. I sewn over here. This is how it looks on the back side. Terrible, but on the front it looks like this. And this is going to be glued on here. Still debating how low it's going to be, but I also need to finish this part. I sewn on the doily. I have a little bit of a hiccup over here, but that's going to be okay. Then I also want to sew around this piece. I just want to put this over here. Nope, it's the wrong side. Keep doing that. And a little bit of glue. I think I had it like this. Did I? Yeah, something like this. And I wanted this to be on here like so, I said. Or like so. I think like so. So now I'm going to I'm going to sew around all this. I'm going to attach this, of course, as the pocket, and then you will see me back. So I have this sewn on too. I have a pocket here. Obviously you're maybe not going to see this a lot, but I also need to put on the green stuff, the leaves. Oh, I can't rip this, too tiny. Okay. Okay, I just had to figure out, because I could also do this like so. Oh, let's see. The glue's on, nothing sticking out. Obviously this is too large, but who cares? Do I need to have something over here? I don't think so. Maybe a little like this, but I still need to put on the green stuff. So let me get that. Maybe I can sort it. I also like the gold, or both. I think I'm going to do both. Both. The bigger one. It's usually a challenge to maybe this one underneath. Yeah. Something like this, and then this needs to be on top. Like so. I sewn on the leaves. I also found another piece of this, and now I'm thinking, shouldn't I sew this on here to mimic the other side? Of course, leave this open, but you can slide something in. I have to stand to see what do I like best. I think I'm going to sew this on. Well, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to sew this piece on a tag that is going to be in here. If I still remember where I'm going to create that tag, but that's of later concern. So I'm just going to leave it like that, as it is now. I do need to figure out how to cover the spine, but I also first need to create the binding. So maybe for now I'm just going to leave it like this, but you have a good idea how this is going to look. This is going to be glued on to here. It's going to overlap like so, or maybe I just need to clip it down a little. Maybe let's do that. So we have this over here. This one here. And this can be on here. I have the air conditioning, well, the heater of the air conditioning switched on. I think you can hear that on the video. I hope not. But if so, yeah. It's a little cold, so I do need the airco. Okay. I think I can leave it like this. So maybe I need to do some stitching over here too. Maybe I need to also add a little piece of lace over here, like maybe this piece. Sticking out like so. And also maybe I need to have leaves on here too. But that is for the next video, because I need to make the binding first. So in the next video I'm going to create the elastic binding and cover this sorry, this piece, and glue on the front cover decoration, and maybe even make 2 pockets. We will see. But if I have the pockets and everything on and the binding, I can put in the papers that I already have in my Traverse notebook. So, but yeah, this is it for today. I hope you liked the video, and maybe you want to leave me a like, a thumbs up. You can hide this video, so that's a new feature on YouTube. Then you can hide videos, so it does help. I'm not sure what it actually is, but it does help. So maybe you can do that. And yes, I will work on this journal in the next video, and I'm so happy you joined me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay creative. Greetings from the Netherlands. Bye bye. Bye.